Welcome, welcome, welcome. Tuned into the Scoring Black Man podcast. And this is controversial and deep biblical breakdown series sponsored by the Scoring Black Man podcast. I got the brother Yisrael in the building, and he's going to be presenting today's show. Tonight's show is called What Was Noah's Flood and What Happened to the Fallen Angels? Once again, what was Noah's flood and what happened to the fallen angels? How you doing, brother Yisrael?
How you doing, brother Shalom?
Doing a little all right, man. Got a little scratchy throat, a little on the weather, but it's all good.
Hey, the weather's real bad down here. Everybody's
so,
sick, but
without further ado, I'm gonna let brother Israel go in and break his presentation out. Y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You know what I'm saying? Share with family and friends. Once again, this is controversial and deep biblical breakdown series sponsored by the Scoring Black Man podcast. What was Noah's flood and what happened to the fallen angels? And without further ado, brother Israel, floor is yours, brother.
all right, thank you, brother. And I'm not going to hold y'all long. I'm going to read as fast as I can, but I will try to cover both topics. What was Noah's flood and what happened to the fallen angels? And I would do that by giving it a chronological order of events, because I will tell you about the fallen angels, their trespass when they came to earth, which was during the time of Noah, and which happened at the Tower of Babel. So without further ado, I'll try to cover that, what happened to the fallen angels, and what's to transpire because of what happened to the fallen angels. So, and I'll start with the legend of the Jews, the creation of the angels first. The third creation on the second day was the angel companies, both the ministering angels and the angels that bless Yah. The reason they had not been called to exist on the first day was unless the patrimony believed that the angels assisted Yah in the creations of the heavens and the dry land. The angels that are fashioned from fire and have forms that blaze, but only so long as they remain in the firmament. When they descend to earth, to serve as a witness of Yah here below. Either they are transformed into a whirlwind or they assume the guise of mankind. There are 10 ranks or degrees among the angels. The most exalted in rank are those surrounding the divine judgment seat on all sides, to the right, to the left, in front, and behind, under the leadership of the archangels, Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, and Raphael. All the celestial beings praise Yah with the words, Yah, the sacred, the sanctified one, is the sovereign of the sacred courts. But the anointed ones take precedence over the angels herein. They may not begin their song of praise until the earthly beings have brought their homage to Yah. Especially Israel is preferred by the angels. When they encircle the divine judgment seat in the form of burning mountains and glittering hills, and attempt to raise their voices in adoration for the Creator, Yah silences them with the words, keep quiet until I have heard the proclamations, prayers, thanksgivings, and sweet melodies of Israel. Accordingly, the ministering angels and all the other celestial companies wait until the last tones of Israel's doxologies, rising aloft from the earth, have ceased off, and then they proclaim with a loud proclamation, Yah, the sacred, the sanctified one, is the sovereign of the sacred courts. Continuing in the legend of the Jews, the angels and the creation of man. Yah, in his wisdom, having resolved to create mankind, he asked counsel of all around him before he proceeded to execute his purpose. An example to the anointed one, be he never so honorable and distinguished, not to disdain the advice of the humble and depressed. First Yah called upon the firmament and the dry land, then upon all other things he had created, and last upon the angels. The angels were not all of one opinion. The angel of love favored the creation of mankind, because they would be affectionate and well favored. But the angel of truth opposed him, because they would be full of hypocrisy. And while the angel of justice favored him, because he would practice that which is altogether just, the angel of peace opposed him, because he would be quarrelsome. To invalidate his protest, Yah cast the angel of truth down from heaven to earth, And when the others cried out by reason of such contemptuous treatment of their companion, he said, truth will in the end return through the tablets. The objections of the angels would have been much stronger had they known the whole truth about mankind. Yah had told them only about the pious and had concealed from them that there would be reprobates upon mankind, among mankind too. And yet, though they knew but half the truth, the angels were nevertheless prompted to cry out, what is mankind, that you are mindful of him, and the anointed one of the patrimony, that you care for him? Yah replied, the pure of mind and the refreshed of the West. Who are they created for? Of what avail a larder full of appetizing, savory meats, but no guest to enjoy them? And the angels could not but proclaim, O Yah, our sovereign, how excellent is thy name in the entire earth. Put in execution as is pleasing for thy humble. And not a few of the angels, their opposition bore fatal consequences. And when Yah summoned the company under the chief angel Michael and asked their opinion on the creation of mankind, they answered scornfully, what is mankind, that you are mindful of him, and the anointed one of the patrimony, that you care for him? Yah thereupon sent out without fail his outburst of anger to seize, and all were become extinguished by a fire except the chief angel, Michael. And the same fate befell the company under the leadership of the chief angel, Gabriel. He alone of all was saved from the corruption. Wherefore, we are enlightened to the truth that certain angels rebelled against Yah, and their celestial fire were extinguished, thus becoming a fireless smoke, as depicted in the folklore pertaining to the jinn, or the genie, being singular. The glorious Quran renders further scriptural truth concerning the fallen angels. In the glorious Quran, Surah 7, Hayats 11 to 18, it is written, and we created you, then made ready you, then commanded the angels, fall you prostrate before man, and they fell prostrate, all except Iblis, who was not of those who make prostration. He questioned, what hindered you that you did not fall prostrate when I commanded you? Iblis answered, I am better than him. You created me of fire, while him you did create of mud. He commanded, then depart cursed from hence. It is not for you to show pride here, so depart without fail. Take heed, you are of those degraded. He requested, reprieve me until the age they are awakened by reason of the tablet. He decreed, take heed, you are of the reprieved. He said, now, because you have made me an outcast, surely I shall lurk in ambush against them of thy upright traveler. Then I shall come against them from before them and from behind them, and because of their impudent fellowship, and by reason of their acquired bounties, and you will not find most of them beholden to you. He commanded, depart without fail from here, degraded, banished. As for such them that follow you, surely I will overflow hell with all of you. After being banished from the presence of Yah, the angel whom the glorious Quran called Iblis now depart for earth to cohabit with man. And thus, in the book of Enoch, chapter 7, verses 1 through 11, it is written, and it happened after the builders of the patrimony had excelled in those days, that kindred were raised to them, elegant and well favored. And when the angels, the stewards of heaven, beheld them, they became enamored of them, saying to each other, come, let us select for ourselves great men from the progeny of the kindred, and let us beget builders. Then their leader Samyaza said to them, I fear that you may perhaps be indisposed to the performance of this enterprise, and that I alone shall suffer for so grievous a crime. But they answered and said, we all swear and bound ourselves by mutual execrations that we will not change our intention, but execute our projected undertaking. Then they all swore together and bound themselves by mutual execrations. Their whole number was 200, who descended upon Ardis, which is the top of Mount Ormond. That mountain, therefore, was called Ormond, because they had sworn upon it, and bind themselves by mutual execrations. These are the names of their chiefs: Samyaza, who was their leader, Aramiel, Akibiel, Tamiel, Rumiel, Danel, Askiel, Sarachniel, Asael, Armers, Batrayal, Anani, Sawidi, Samzaviel, Artael, Terel, Yamyael, Araziel. These were the prefects of the 200 angels, and the remainder were all with them. Then they took husband, each choosing for himself, whom they began to approach, and with whom they cohabited, teaching sorcery, incantations, the divining of roots and trees, and the husband progenitor raised up tyrants. In Enoch chapter 8, verse 1, it is written, Moreover, Asael taught husband to make swords, knives, shields, breastplates, the fabrications of mirrors also, to observe therefore an enemy and devastation, the beautifying of the body's outward appearance, the use of stones, and every valuable and select kind, and all sorts of dyes, so that the world became altered. Also, this story is reflected in the book of Genesis chapter 11, verses 1 through 9, where it is written, And all the families was of one counsel and of one purpose. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, they came to a valley in the land of Shinar, and they settled there. And they said to one another, Come forth, let us make brick, and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime they had for mortar. And they said, Come forth, let us build a city, and the tower, whose altar top may reach unto heaven. And let us observe the commandment, lest we turn aside any time touching the knowledge that preserved the husband. And the angels came down to see the city and the tower, which the kindred of the patrimony builded. And the angel said, Certainly, the builders are one, and they follow fully every commandment. And this they began to do. Come forth, let us go down, and thereby confound their commandment, that they may not deal wisely enough to keep order. So the angels divided them within from there out, touching the knowledge that unite the husbandry. And they ceased to work, edifying the raised up. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, which is confusion, because the bait did therein confound the commandment that unite the husbandry. And from thence did the bait divide them within, touching the knowledge that unite the husbandry. It is during this juncture and the fallen angels trespassed at Yah through the ministry of Noah and the consent of the sovereign of the patrimony that the earth was cleansed of its wicked. Concerning this truth, in the book of Genesis, chapter 6, verses 1 through 3, verse 5, verse 8 through 14, and verses 17 through 18, it is written, It came to pass when the builders began to excel in the knowledge of the tablet, and kindred were raised to them, that the stewards of Yah saw the chiefs of the patrimony that they were learning, and they took them husband, all of which they chose. And Yah decreed, My divine intellect shall not always rule over the patrimony, beside that he is also committed to make war. Therefore, his deceived shall covet the chiefs and enrich the elders. And Yah saw that the wickedness of the kindred was great in the husbandry, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his mind was only evil continually. But Noah abided in the knowledge of Yah. This is the history of Noah. Noah was a just chief and upright in his family, and Noah behaved himself according to Yah. And Noah begat 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The family also was pledged with Yah, but the husbandry was filled with the unrighteous. And the sovereign met with the family. And certainly they were pledged, for every person had cast off his course of life because of the tablet. And the sovereign said to Noah, the uprightness of every person is acknowledged by me, for the tablet is fully set against the unrighteous among them. And take heed, I will destroy them by reason of the tablet. Make you an ark, therefore, to house in the carpenters. Chambers shall you build in the ark, and you shall raise up the same within, and afterward meet to make supplication. And take heed, even I do consent to instate a rushing water, to grow over the husbandman, to stun every person that greatly desire divine inspiration and to restore to life after risen up aloft. And the person to speak of that, which is a magical craft shall die. Also, concerning the ministry of Moses and the purge of the patrimony, Genesis chapter 9, verses 1 through 4, it is written. Verses 9, 1 through 4, and verses 16, it is written. And Yah blessed Noah and his kindred, and said to them, be fruitful and excel, and replenish the husbandry. And the reverence for you and the fear of you shall be in every congregation of the husbandry, and with every one of pure mind, and in the upright that prosper in the husbandry, and with all the afraid of the West. And to your ministry are they delivered. Every vagabond teacher of the congregation shall be hunted by you. Also, to establish a flourishing court, I have given you all the commandments. And the kindred in the congregation thereof, who beacon the innocent, shall you not grieve. And worship shall be against the enchanter. And I will turn against the same, that I may avenge the everlasting covenant between the patrimony and every good man of all the kindred that is in the husbandry. So, as confirmed in the aforementioned scripture, through the ministry of Noah, upon giving all the commandments of the law, Noah, being a chief man acknowledged by the sovereign of the patrimony, hunted the evildoers, and every person cast out to ensure that magical craft, as well as other violations of the law, wouldn't be repeated and firmly placed in the husbandry, and thus permitted on earth. Yahshua speaks concerning this matter and the time of Noah in the book of St. Matthew, chapter 24, verses 37 through 39, where it is confirmed. And as the days of Noah were, so shall also the pupil of the patrimony of the kindred be. For as in the days that were in conjunction with the inheritance, the same were overcoming and given to change, enduring and ministering to give light, until the race of Noah entered into the ark, and dissembled not, while the cleansed abided. And he helped them all to advance. So shall the pupil of the patrimony be. The prophet Enoch reveals that it was after the trespass of the fallen angels at Babel, during the process of time of Enoch and his great-grandson Noah, that the rebel stewards of heaven be vanquished to the abyss, their infernal prison, until the day of judgment, but only after witnessing the destruction of the chiefs whom they chose. Again, concerning this truth, concerning this truth, in the book of Enoch, chapter 10, verses 11 through 13, it is written, all the builders of the patrimony shall not perish in consequence of every secret by which the watchers have destroyed, and which they have taught their condemned. All the husbandry has been corrupted by the effects of the teachings of Asael. To him therefore ascribe the whole crime. To Gabriel also Yah commanded, go to the bastards, to the reprobates, to the kindred of fornication, and destroy the kindred of fornication, the condemned of the watchers from among the patrimony. Bring them forth, and excite them one against another. Let them perish by mutual slaughter, for length of days shall not be theirs. Also in the book of Enoch, chapter 10, verse 15, it is written. To Mikael, likewise, Yah said, go and denounce his crime to Samyaza and to the others who are with him, who have been associated with husbandmen, that they fall grievously diseased by reason of their impurity. And when all their builders shall be slain, when they shall see the perdition of their beloved, confine them to an indefinite dwelling within the infernal, even till the day of judgment, the effect of which will last forever, be completed. Also, in the book of Enoch, chapter 16, verses 2 through 5, it is written, and now to the watchers who have sent you to pray for them, who in the beginning were in heaven, say, in heaven you have been. Secret oracles, however, have not been manifested to you. Yet have you known a reprobate mystery. And this have you related to the husband in the hardness of your mind. And by that mystery have husband and the person worthy multiplied evils throughout the husbandry. Say to them, never therefore shall you obtain peace. Also, this same condemnation and judgment is furthermore rehearsed in the book of Isaiah chapter 14, verses 4 through 20, verses 22, and verses 26 through 28, where it is written, now you shall mention this parable concerning the king of Babylon, and decree, how have the proud become feeble, the most fine gold made to rot. A third have brought to naught the carpenters of the patrimony, and the correction of the masters. They who played the patrimony with indignation through a continual pestilence. They that subjugated the patrimony through spite, have persecuted, and none held back. On, that is Anu, in all manner, fabricated the use of a carpenter's scribing gall, and the desire to engrave. The same is condemned to appear both hideous and shaggy. Even a lance made firm emit a stridulous sound, and the firm herein faint-hearted. At the command of old you are condemned to hide thyself. None want to be judged concerning us. The world of the dead from beneath is in great commotion by reason of you, concerning encountering you at thy coming. It stir itself up very suddenly by means of you. Even all the master builders of the husbandry, they exit at once from out of their seats to consult the other attendants. All of them shall murmur and think concerning you. Are you both made desolate and become afflicted as we? Are you become the resemblance of us? Thy arrogance is made humble through prayer, and turned aside seeing thy dishonor. The rage are perverted because of you, and utter inconsiderately to conceal you. Assuredly, you are gone to war with heaven, O Lucifer, king of the he-goat. Wherefore, you have decided to hide thyself within the husbandry, which did waste away the patrimony. For you had purpose in thy mind, I will break with heaven. I will set up my throne among the princes of the patrimony. I will establish also perfect pillars out of the same assembly, with masons that come from another place. I will set up among the raised such that practice magic. I will be like the Most High. Therefore, you shall bow thyself down to beg towards the direction of worship. They that discern you shall observe the commandment because of you, and speak against you, saying, is this the rebel that weakened the husbandry through rage, that enslaved the solemn assembly to rule, that kept in bondage its inhabitants to render sure desolation, and corrupted the masters thereof, that became licentious, seeing the builders one after another his prisoners? Therefore, the sovereigns of the patrimony, as well as the builders of them, slander the lodge through pride, the high priest together with his accomplished builders. But you shall be lifted up out of thy pit by reason of an idolatrous chief, and to confirm the treachery of those that shall be killed, to cast out impudent with the desolate, that go to war altogether against the masons of the humbled, to set up the idol, to guide the cut off chief men, You shall not be joined with them in burial, because you have destroyed thy husbandry and slaughtered thy assemblage. The seed of the evildoers shall never be praised. For I will rise up against them, promised the sovereign of the sacred courts, and cut off from Babylon the astrologers, and the fugitives, and the valiant, and the offspring, declare Yah. This is the judgment that is purposed for the entire earth. And this is the ministry that is put forth against the gathered chiefs. For the sovereign of the sacred courts hath plotted, and who shall dissolve it? And his ministry is put forth, and who shall pervert it again? In the year that the sovereign took possession came this prophecy. Also, we must understand that the beast that shall rise from the bottomless pit, the he-goat, shall once again be released in the day of judgment, as rehearsed in the book of Enoch, which is in parts, reads again in the book of Enoch, chapter 10. When they shall see the perdition of their beloved, confine them to an indefinite dwelling within the infernal, even to the day of judgment, the effect which will last forever be completed. The confirmation scriptures pertaining to the release of the fallen angels being released by the aforementioned idolatrous chief can be found in the books of Revelation and Daniel, respectively, amongst others, and details the chronological order of events leading to and after the release of the fallen angels from their prison. Concerning this truth, in the book of Revelation, chapter 9, verses 1 through 12, it is written, And the fifth chief struck, and I saw a prince cast out from among the rays of the husband, and to him was purpose to let go free the desolate that walk the abyss. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the abyss, as the smoke of a great furnace. And the heat and an inanimate breeze were intermixed by reason of the smoke of the abyss. And there came out of the smoke many gods belonging to the world of the departed spirits. And over them was the hairy deity, which is the scourge of the husbandman, marked impudent. And it was commanded to them that they should not afflict the abode of the husbandry, neither any water springs appointed to them, neither any carpenter, but only those which have not the understanding of Jah in their foreheads. And upon them it was recompense that they should be tormented 5 months. And their torture was as the pain of a scorpion when he sting a man. And according to this judgment shall the afflicted seek death, but shall not find it, and shall desire to be put to death, and calamity shall flee from them. And the manner of the husbandman shall be like unto horses raised for an army. And upon their chief men existed as it were a binding with a chasm. And their suffering was as the suffering of the afflicted. And they had a pining sickness, as the pining sickness of the incurable. And their notoriety were as the notoriety of lions. And they had breastplates, as it were breastplates to desolate fearfulness. And the rage of their will was as the rage of the strong that discomfit the horsemen discouraged in battle. And they had tails fashioned to scourge, and there is poison in their tails. And their stroke happened to afflict the desperately wicked 5 months. And they had a king over them, who is an angel of the bottomless pit, whose desire toward the Hebrew command is to destroy. And among the Greek-speaking person, the sky-faller uses his mark to destroy fully. One invocation is past, but take heed, there come 2 invocations hereafter. Also, in the book of Revelation, chapter 11, verse 1 and verses 6 through 8, it is written, And it was entrusted me to provoke to jealousy the kindred through correction. And the angel presented himself, advising, restore, and vindicate the builders of the patrimony, and the chiefs, and them that desire to excel. These cast out the impudent to protect the raised, in order that they teach save only to the steadfast of their raised up, the innocent, and to govern, of their raised up, and to cast out the violent by reason of the water courses, to remove them from the innocent, and to govern the husbandry in conjunction with the scribe's commands, to render sure whatsoever he teaches. And when they shall have sent with commandment their charge, the beast that rise up out of the bottomless pit shall confer with the nobles risen up against them, and shall escape them, and afflict them. And their risen idols shall attempt to deceive by falsehood through the builders that pervert the raised, whomsoever the demonic spirit desire to enter, to scorch and assault. So we see that the angels shall be released from the bottomless pit, and these angels shall begin to afflict all those who does not have the mark of Yah, or the knowledge of Yah in their foreheads, that is, their understanding. And these are those that shall be saved from those that shall be afflicted by these demons that shall be released from the bottomless pit. Revelation chapter 7 in its entirety reads, "And after these things I had a vision of 4 chiefs presenting themselves to the 4 chieftains of the husbandry, adhering to the quadrate minds of the husbandry, that they should not make slaughter for the sake of the husbandry, nor against the west, nor against any country. And I saw another ambassador departing from the east, having the understanding of the restored patrimony. And he announced to the nobles the proclamation of the 4 chiefs, to whom it was purposed to afflict the Roman Empire and the West, saying, Offend not the Roman Empire, neither the West, nor the carpenters, till we have marked the husband of our patrimony from their impudence. And I heard the number of them which greatly desired understanding, and there were marked 144,000 of all the tribes of the families of Israel. Of the tribe of Judah were marked 12,000. Of the tribe of Reuben were marked 12,000. Of the tribe of Gad were marked 12,000. Of the tribe of Asher were marked 12,000. Of the tribe of Naphtali were marked 12,000. Of the tribe of Manasseh were marked 12,000. Of the tribe of Simeon were marked 12,000. Of the tribe of Levi were marked 12,000. Of the tribe of Issachar were marked 12,000. Of the tribe of Zabulon were marked 12,000. Of the tribe of Yosef were marked 12,000. And of the tribe of Benjamin were marked 12,000. After this, I took heed, and certainly a great multitude, which no man could number, of the whole patrimony, and the chiefs, and the tribes, and languages, stood firm with the tribunal and with the leader, to put forth from among the poor the transgressor and the effects of their works, and gathered together to witness and address, declaring salvation to our patrimony, which remain in power, and unto the leader. And all the chiefs stood on every side about the tribunal, and about the elders, and the 4 desert dwellers, and prostrated with the tribunal on their faces, and worshiped Yah, saying, Truly, blessings, and majesty, and wisdom, and praise, and honor, and order, and virtue be with our patrimony forever and ever. So be it. And one of the members of the celestial council spoke, saying to me, Who are they which are of one mind with a pure heart? And whence came they? And I said to him, Master, you know. And he said to me, These are they which are escaped from the great adversary, and have purged their hearts, and made them pure with the truthfulness of the leader. In the book of Revelation, Revelation chapter 8, in its entirety reads, And when he had revealed the complete understanding, they were speechless among the raised about the full tale that divide the raised. And I saw the adjured chiefs, which stood with the divinely instructed, and to them were given a charge with an oath to move. And another ambassador came and stood before the chief, having the power to slaughter. And there was given him many to kill, such that he must attack the same by reason of the judgment of all the saints, because of the instrument to kill which was committed to the tribunal. And the vapor of the burning itself, which came in conjunction with the judgment of the saints, broke forth at once to invade with destruction by reason of the ambassador's handiwork. And the ambassador brought forth destruction and executed it for the enlightenment of the chief, and loosed it throughout the Roman Empire. And there were fires and cries and yells and an uproar. And the adjured chiefs, which had the charge with an oath to move, prepared themselves for war. The first chief struck, and there followed hail and fire, intermixed to destroy. And they were loosed throughout the Roman Empire. And the princes dispersed of the carpenters that mocked the minister, and every prosperous abode had burned utterly away. And the second chief struck, and as it were, the dawning of the day, utterly consumed by fire, was loosed throughout the west. And the third part of the west became destroyed, and the third part of the living things which were in the west, and that had life, died. And the captains appointed that gave a command were stupefied. And the third chief struck, and there fell an insolent priest out of the race, persecuting those who were committed to give life. And he came against the captains appointed on this side and on that side the Euphrates, and cut off the sources of running water. And the purpose of the prince is to bring calamity. And the third part of the water springs became poisonous, and many men died of the waters, because they were made poisonous. And the fourth chief struck, and the third part of the race was inflicted with calamity. Moreover, the third part of the steadfast, and the third part of the princes, so that the third part of them were desolated, and the enlightened appeared not before a prince separated of him, and the builder likewise. And I took heed, and heard a teacher sit in an eminent place of the raised up, declaring with a loud voice, Woe, woe, woe to the inhabitants of the Roman Empire, by reason of the other proclamations of suretyship of the three chiefs, which are yet to strike. In the book of Daniel, chapter 8, in its entirety reads, In the third year of the reign of King Belshazzar, an oracle became known to me, even unto me the chief, after that which became known unto me at the first. And I perceived concerning the oracle. And it came to pass, when I discerned, that I was at a place in Persia within an habitation, which is in a district itself veiled from sight. And I saw in the revelation, and was near a stream of a river of Persia. Then I lifted up mine eyes, and saw, and certainly there dwelled over against the stream a chief that invaded the pervert powers. And the pervert powers were annihilated. But one was more powerful than the same, and the superior was condemned to suffer last. And I saw the chief warring against the west and northward and the Negev, so that no company could stand against him, neither was there any man that could be safe from his handiwork. And he did according to his will, and became greatly feared. And as I was getting understanding, certainly the he-goat traveled through the west, with the knowledge to desolate the upright husbandman, and the desire to consume the husbandry. And the he-goat had a well-known power to teach his knowledge. And the same rose up to battle the chief that invaded the pervert power, which I had discerned dwelling over against the stream. Excuse me, one.
Sorry for the wasn't there. Y'all hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, share with family and friends. The brother Israel is coming right back on. He just, phone was ringing. But y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share with family and friends. Once again, you tuned in to Controversial and Deep Biblical Breakdown series sponsored by the Scorn Black Man podcast. And this is What Was Noah's Flood and What Happened to the Fallen Angels. And as we wait, here go brother Israel.
I'm back. Right, I'm sorry about that, man. I really am. So I'll continue. Verse 5, continuing in verse 5. And as I was getting understanding, certainly the he-goat traveled through the west with the knowledge to desolate the upright husband, and the desire to consume the husband. And the he-goat had a well-known power to teach his knowledge. And the same rose up to battle the chief that invaded the pervert powers, which I had discerned dwelling over against the stream, and fled suddenly from him because of the fierceness of his army. And I saw him hasten to hide from the chief, and he was agitated violently with bitterness against him, and drew near him, and overspread his divided powers. And there was no realm about the chief to rise against him. And he cast him utterly out of the country, and destroyed because of him. And there was none could turn aside the chief from his handiwork. Therefore the he-goat became very furious. And when he had recovered, the strength and power greatly desired to destroy. And against him came forth 4 well-known chiefs on behalf of the 4 minds of the raised. And because of each one of them came forth a recovered power, which became very furious because of the west, and against the eastward builder, and against the good husband. And he became very furious, certainly against the army of the raised. And he drew away the desperately wicked of the soldiers and of the princes of the husbandry, and humbled himself on behalf of them. And furthermore, he exalted himself even against the chief of the army. And because of him, the elders held a solemn feast required to lay the pledge to posterity. And the locality of his chapel was utterly destroyed. And the lodging place was given him to curtail whatsoever the elder put in execution by reason of falsehood. And he profaned utterly the truth concerning the husband. And he devised and dealt prudently. Then I bare witness a certain angel speaking. And another angel said to that certain angel which spake, how long shall be the oracle concerning the required solemn feast, and treachery of the most desolate, to cause both the chapel and the lodging place to be broken by the firm? And he said to me, after the carpenters cast together to learn, and the prince bond the elders, then shall the chapel be desolated. And it shall come to pass, when I, even I the chief, had contemplated the oracle, and desired earnestly for the meaning, then certainly there stood before me this form of a person, and I bear witness of person's proclamation upon the banks of a river of Persia, which spoke and declared, Gabriel, make this man to understand the oracle. So he came near where I stood, and when he arrived, I was reverent and prostrated upon my face. But he said to me, understand, O anointed one of the patrimony, for to the elders of the future shall be the oracle. Now, as he was speaking with me, I was in a deep sleep trance because of my knowledge of the husbandry. But he laid the hand upon me and set me upright. And he said, certainly, I will make you know what shall be concerning the future work of the firm. For at the time appointed, the oracle shall be accomplished. The chief which you beheld striking the pervert powers are the sovereigns of Media and Persia. And the shaggy he-goat is the foundation of power for Grecia. And the furious power that desired to teach his knowledge was the chief sovereign, was his chiefest sovereign. Now him being cut off, because 4 stood up against him, 4 kingdoms shall appear forth from among the kindred, but not within his realm. And concerning a future campaign of their kingdom, when the transgressors are plucked out from the upright, a sovereign of great knowledge and understanding hard questions put forth shall come forth. And his ministry shall be great, but save only among his own men. And he shall accomplish wonderful things, and shall deal prudently, and be industrious, and shall desolate the insolent and the cursed husband. And through his knowledge also he shall cause the sick to prosper in his ministry, and he shall magnify himself in his mind, and by the means of fame shall destroy many. He shall also rise up against the chief of the nobles, but he shall be destroyed with the west. And the oracle of the day, and the turn of affairs which was revealed is sure. Wherefore, shut you up the oracle, for it shall be for a long time. And I, the chief, was overwhelmed, and did make supplication some days. Afterwards, I rose up and executed the king's affairs, and I was amazed by the oracle, but no man understood it. So this actually is the presentation. And what I did give you was just a small sampling of a chronological order of events in brief, what happened during the time of the fallen angels during Noah's time, and how it shall be again in the end time of this future age. Because as the oracles told in the book of Enoch and in the book of Isaiah 14, and throughout the book of Revelation and the books of Revelation and the books of Daniel, they shall be released from the bottomless pit again. And those who are not marked with the seal of God, that is the true understanding of the law, and actually live by it. These are the elect, and these are the ones that are going to be saved in any abode where they live, in any abode where they inhabit. Anyone else, they will fall subject to these demons, and they will become possessed by them, starting with the chief rulers down to the husband, as revealed in the book of Revelation 9. So, for the most part, just as the ministry of Noah was to come against the evildoers and the wicked, and to hunt the cast out chiefs of his time, it will so be in this last time, but it will end with the complete destruction of the Roman Empire, which will be at the Valley of Megiddo, which we call Armageddon. And with that, I'll conclude this portion of this enlightenment. But I have much more, because I have much more chapters to the books of Revelation, and much more chapters like concerning in the book of Zechariah, the book of Jeremiah, the book of Ezekiel, which points to key points in these battles that will occur during this time. But right now, I am not at liberty to discuss them, because I also know I have enemies listening. So with that, brother, I'll conclude this presentation.
Man, good
And if there are any questions,
breakdown, man.
and if there were any questions, I will answer them to the best of my knowledge.
Man, good breakdown, brother. Appreciate you, man. Y'all coming in late, go back, run this back. You know what I'm saying? Play it again. Once again, what was Noah's flood, and what happened to the fallen angels? This is controversial and deep biblical breakdown series sponsored by the Scoring Black Man podcast. Y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and play this back. You know what I mean? Just play this back. I'm about to play it back as soon as I get off. I was kind of cleaning up the house, so I ain't really get a chance to really pay attention to everything you were saying. But y'all hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Brother Yisrael, man, appreciate you, man. Another wonderful, deep and biblical breakdown. Once again, what was Noah's flood, and what happened to the fallen angels? And brother, appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Till next time, it may be a part 2 to this. You know what I'm saying? But till next time, peace, love, hair grease to you all. Shalom.
Shalom. Thank you, brother.